We're here at the 2024 edition of the Lone Star Conference Football Media Day in McKinney, Texas. It's a privilege to get to visit with Coach Jeff Girsch once again. Coach, it is always a privilege. I appreciate what you bring to the table as a coach, and here just a fantastic day once again. 7-3 last year. I know that's a little bit below what the standards are at Angelo State. However, I mean it's still a quality season. But talk about that a little bit. You mentioned up when you were up on the stage just a moment ago, the ball just didn't quite bounce our way a couple of times.
Yeah, we were in tight games, a lot of tight games, and I think that's the unique thing about football. One of my high school coaches, Rick Hendricks, said a long time ago, you're going to win some games, you're going to lose some games by the way the ball bounces because it's shape funny. So sometimes it's going to bounce your way and sometimes it's not, and that's just something I think that our kids did a great job of responding through. We won 6 of our last 7. So there was no letdown of how the effort and the excitement of still playing. We felt like we still had an outside chance of getting in all year in the playoffs. So, our kids played hard. But, 7-3 again, you got to take a step back and look at the great things you did throughout the year when you have it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't what we were hoping to do. And, hats off to some great football teams that beat us. Obviously, Mines got us again this year and this past year, and they do what they've done the last few years. Obviously, they've done a great job. And, Chris over at UTPP and what he did last season in his initial year in a really tight football game, and then Central Wash out there we lose by 3 in a game that had some crazy football going on. So at the end of the day, we didn't have the bounce our way in those 3 games, but we still played pretty good football, and we feel excited about what's coming this year.
7 wins being a nice number too. I just have to ask, does it make a difference that all 3 of them were playoff teams? When you look back on it someday, maybe now a few months down the line.
Yeah, I mean it does. You recognize that for sure. 2 of those teams were playing for the regional championship game in our division, and we had a chance to win both those games. So we know we're right there. We know that what this team's about, what the program's about, what our players are about. That's the biggest thing. We got a great group back. So. Those are the games I like to play. I like to play really good football teams. We do that in the non-conference to get really good football in there. I joke with my guys all the time. I said, I'm 52, going on 53. I'm going to remember those games. I want to play the really good teams out there in non-conference, and the games you remember in conference are the UTPBs of this past year, or the Central Washes, like really good football teams going and playing. So it does help out, but at the end of the day, we got to get on the right end of them.
Okay, then having that going on, and this is a program that no stranger to the playoffs. You've been making not only to the playoffs but deep runs of late, and you have a number of those players coming back to this team. What kind of adjustments do you make? I mean, because as we've said, more than once here, ball just kind of bounced the wrong way a couple of times. Do you make a number of adjustments, or what do you do going into 24?
Not so much a number of adjustments, probably more so of fine-tuning, focusing on a few things that you can get better at, continue to work on ball security, continue to work on, decision-making, whether it's from the quarterback position, getting your eyes right in the back end, just things that we felt like we made some mistakes at last year, are we improving there, and then continually growing in the game, on special teams. That's something that's huge for us. Tyler O'Brien, our special teams coordinator and linebackers coach, has brought a new dimension last year in that. So continue to get better in those and go. But as they get older in your program, the mistakes seem to go down some. You know what I mean? So continuing to coach these guys and really work hard to recruit the right kids that fit our program and go from there.
Let's talk about that then. Recruiting, you mentioned recruiting on the high school level, and I think when you talk about kids getting older in the program, it helps to have them in the program since they were younger, and so you're developing within them what you want to see done and the culture you want. Talk about recruiting on the high school level.
Well, it's if you look and you're going to build in high schools, why not in Texas, right? I mean, it's the best high school football around, and it's allowed us to get great foundation of players into our program. We're going to lose some along the way in the transfer portal, but at the same time, you're going to win championships with guys that are in your program 3, 4, and 5 years. It's just facts. You look at it, teams that win it aren't all transfer portal. They're going to go in there and have some great foundation, and we've done that, and we'll continue to do it. I would be naive to say we're not going to do transfer portal at all. I think you got to either do a little bit of it or you're going to get left behind. So that's something we've done a good job, I think, with it, and we'll continue to do so. But Texas high school recruiting, to me, will be the foundation of what we do in Angelo State till the day I'm out of here.
Season gets underway on a Thursday night. I love that about Division II, starting things out on a Thursday night. Many schools do that. You have trips to the state of Kansas twice before the Lone Star Conference gets underway, and MIAA programs at Fort Hays State and then at Emporia State. Talk about the opening to your season.
Well, I've always told my guys the same thing. I want to play great teams and get us prepared for Lone Star Conference. We played Colorado School of Mines. I think 4 years in the regular season, and no longer playing them, but picking up Emporia State and Fort Hays are our two premier programs, and have a lot of success in the MIAA, and they'll be great contests for us. We're excited to go up there and play. I'd love to have one of them at home, but we'll have to wait till next year for that. But excited about those challenges, and like I said, they're great football programs. We've been watching a lot of their film, and we're gonna have our hands full. But we're a good football team too, so we're excited about going and playing some new blood and seeing how those go.
All right, Coach Jeff Girsch, who, by the way, I neglected to mention, picked second in the preseason ranking here in the Lone Star Conference Media Day. So success to you all, to the Rams this year. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time with us today.
I appreciate having me. Thank you.